just a moment indeed, but with all the stress of the news that just came through, I think we can tune into something a little bit calmer, yeah? Yeah. Yes, Mzansi, of course, it's time to de-stress. From traffic jams to endless emails, everybody's stress is, or stresses. I mean, I'm even stressed right now, just dealing with this topic. But it can really pile up, and sometimes all you want to do is just escape to a moment of smooth sailing. Yeah, that's what it's about. So let me do just that. Let me just get into the mood right now. All right, I can get used to this. That's how we could do this morning, right? And that's, of course, with that zero feeling too. So here to give us the tips and tricks on how to achieve zero stress, we've got life coach Kirsty Melmed in the building. Kirsty, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Was it a stressful weekend for you or a good one?
It was not. It was very relaxing, nice and chilled.
Well played, well played. Well, let's get straight into it. Let's just talk about stress. Why and what are some of the common causes that are bringing on stress in our lives, and how can we identify it firstly? Let's get into that.
Yeah, so, I mean, really anything can be stressful.
Okay.
Like, everything can be stressful.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So I think what would be helpful is to understand how you specifically react to stress, because we're all different. So for some of us, you might start getting headaches. For some of you, you might start kind of spinning out and getting a bit defensive with people.
Yeah,
you know, other people might begin to get very fatigued and tired. Like, we all react differently. So get to know, what does stress feel like in your body and in your mind, and what does not being stressed feel like, so you can compare the two.
Okay, so understand that firstly before you can even make a proper identification. So with regards to the fact that now we know maybe what stress is, once we've identified it, what are some of the sort of like things that we can do to prevent that? I mean, are things like self-care a part of this? Does it have any place in reducing stress, or are there other mechanisms we should use?
For sure. So I think you can practice self-care once you are already feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it gives you the space to move your body from that stressed and activated state into a calm, rest and digest is what we call it, space where you can process and...
Rest and digest.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
it's to do with the nervous system. It's going from like fight and flight to rest and digest, where you recover physically from the stressful event.
Okay.
So any kind of self-care, like, you know, having time out, going on a hike, practicing yoga, meditating, journaling, talking to someone you trust, anything like that is going to help you move into that kind of calm state.
Okay. I'm liking this conversation because I can imagine a lot of people this weekend, as incredible as the weekend was, it always presents like a lot of chaos and planning and organizing, and it can become very stressful when you're doing so much. How do we learn to maybe, in certain situations where it becomes, let's say, overwhelming for us, how do we learn to kind of say no, or set those boundaries in place to essentially, at the end of the day, reduce the stress we're facing in our personal lives?
Yeah, so boundaries, I know it's a word that some people are like, I don't know how to set boundaries.
I know the word means, but how do I use it? What is it?
Exactly. And it's really about, again, having that self-awareness and knowing what is your capacity. What can you handle? So when you know what stress feels like in your body, how much of that are you able to take on? And when it starts to get too much, when it starts to get overwhelming, being very direct and honest with people and saying, I don't have capacity for that, but I wish you luck.
I like
you
that.
know, no, I can't help you with that. Or maybe I can help you with that, but not right now.
Yeah.
Because we also live in a very immediate world where it's like
instant gratification is all we crave.
Exactly. And it's okay to take time.
At the same time, I think saying no also, it gives you some power too. Like, just try it out and you'll see, as hard as it might seem, because we all just want to yes man and please people.
Well, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to upset you, I don't want to let you down, but actually you're letting yourself down. So you got to find a balance.
Mic drop right there. I love that one. Look, before you go, I want to just squeeze some more valuable golden gems from you. Maybe from Mzansi too, I think this is something we can be practical about. How can we sort of stay healthy? How can we cope with stress? And what sort of mechanisms can we use to, let's say, enforce more of a positive mind state in our lives? I think going forward into this week, everybody's going to say yes to more of that. So how can we actually practically implement that?
So I think taking a whole self approach is what I call it, where you look at not just the physical aspects, although those are really the most important, and things like, you know, exercise, looking at your diet, making sure you're not drinking too much caffeine, getting enough sleep, you know, that kind of thing, basics. But then also practicing mental self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care. So doing things like putting down boundaries and saying no, having open and honest conversations with loved ones, you know, going to therapy or seeing a coach or talking to a mentor, you know, things that help you sort things out in your mind so that you then know how you want to behave as a result of that.
Yeah.
Spiritual self-care, you know, praying, meditating, connecting with whatever it is that means something to you, going outside and being in nature. These are all things that can help you reduce your stress and set up your lifestyle to not be so stressful. Find more balance.
And all things that don't generally necessarily cost too much money either. A lot of these options you mentioned are absolutely free. So
exactly.
the options there, it's waiting for us. All you got to do is do it. Simple as that.
That's the thing. Make the choice, do the thing.
Oh, Kirsty, thank you so much for sharing and imparting your wisdom with us. And I hope you have a beautiful end to this long weekend. You woke up early this morning. That was the first challenge. Well done.
Thanks.
For you, Mzansi, if you are ready to, and if have been inspired to, obviously, take on life with zero stress. So you can put those tips and tricks into action and start living the smooth life. I mean, honestly, it's all about that zero feeling. And I'm definitely getting mine. I like that. I might be sipping this all day. Yeah. Now come join me, get zeroed up, and remember, all 3 flavors of the new TROPIKA Island in a bottle are now available in stores. So look out for the black label and black cap. I'm gonna do some more of that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks, Kirsty. That was smooth.